Welcome to a community of scholars, and today's continuation of What Do You See When You See Me? We are going to talk to our guests, James and Jelani, about how one man's art helped him find an escape. Thank you both for being here today, and I would like to start with you, Jelani, and please tell me about your experience here at Stony Brook and what you have done to find your voice here.
Well, thank you for having me. So, I'm a senior now, so about 3 years ago I came into Stony Brook, and over that time I just have been finding my voice through leadership roles and through creative writing, photography. That's where I've really found my place, and that has really been like a major issue for me here, is finding my place where I fit in. I think that around this time last year, my mom, she actually moved out of state. And around that time, I was thinking a lot about transferring out of Stony Brook because I felt like it wasn't really the environment that would allow me to be who I am. But over the past year, I've been, just trying to use my art to come out of that. And that's how I've combated that.
Awesome, thank you so much. And I know that you've been working on a project called the ExcelLens project. And I'd actually like to take a look at that right now.
Cool.
That was beautifully done, and it was really incredible to see how those students could find their voices due to your art.
Thank you.
How has this project impacted you?
So for me, it's really helped me to see that, a lot of people on campus, we have a lot of diversity, right? We have a lot of diversity on campus, and we celebrate each other. There's a lot of cultural celebration, and I think that's a really great thing. But when it comes to Black and Hispanic people, we don't really share in that same celebration with everyone else. Like, who really shows up for us except ourselves, And so this was my way of, celebrating us. This is what I see when I see us.
Great, thank you. And James, I would love your opinion on the ExcelLens project.
The ExcelLens project really is something that gives me a sense of, I guess you could say, comfort. In the sense that I am clearly seeing how students, African American students on campus, are collectively coming together to empower each other, which is something that is very beautiful, and it gives me a sense of community, and it makes me feel as though I'm not alone on campus, because it's very easy to feel as though you can become one within a large mix. Stony Brook is a very large school. We have 26,000 students on campus on a daily basis, so it can be really easy to feel as though you are just one in the mix. But I feel like projects like these are what really bring everyone together and give us that community feel, especially for the African American community, given, how small it is on campus.
I completely agree, and I also think that it is a very important project, not only for others, but to see how it's also helped you. So James, I wanted to ask you, have you been able to find any escape on campus to find your voice?
So far, SOB has been the escape for me, and I recently got appointed the secretary position. So I am now within the SOB Brotherhood, and we are collectively working together to uplift each other as well as others in the community to figure out what we can do to make this a better place for all of us.
That's awesome. Can you explain some of the activities that you guys do to uplift others?
So far, we've actually been working with the Career Center, and we've been trying to figure out certain events that we can get a lot of African American turnouts in order to make sure that we are basically taking the steps in order to make sure we're successful after college.
That's so great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Going back to the Black Excellence Project, what do you think is the best way that the school could get this out to the entire community?
I think pretty much just through sharing, through platforms such as this where we're allowed to speak about it, because not a lot of people are speaking about these kinds of things, especially like in the school and the community. So I think it's very important for us to put that out there and for others to see us the way that we see us.
What about you, James? What do you think are some ways we could get the information out there?
So for one, I feel like there has to be multiple conversations that are necessary campus-wide in order to make sure that everyone is aware. Because I feel like there are hiccups in between how we're communicating with each other, and there isn't just one specific way that is accessible to everyone, right? I feel as though we have those people who are consistently checking their emails. We reach people through flyers and whatnot, but there has to be a way of addressing everyone as efficient as possible so that we're all on a similar page and we understand the ways in which we need to interact with each other and how we can mingle and thrive as a diverse campus as this is.
Definitely. And how important do you think it is to both of you that the entire community, not just the people of color, for example, see this perspective?
I think it's very important because, especially going with the theme of the episode, when they see us, what do they see exactly? Because it doesn't exactly line up, And I think that it's important for our perspective to be shown so that, others are invited to celebrate with us instead of seeing us in a certain way. There's no one way to experience blackness.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with Johnny. When I first came on campus, I'm currently a sophomore actually, so my freshman year, in high school I actually spent 4 years learning Korean. So when I came to Stony Brook, given the diversity that the campus embodies, I figured that I would definitely be able to utilize what I spent so much time learning. And when I came here, unfortunately, when I interacted with some of the Korean students, I was given a response of shock, almost, and fear. So to the extent that Jelani was just touching upon, when they see us, I feel like there has to be a shift in the ideas and the stigmas that are attached to African American people on campus. I mean, we have to find a way to bridge the gap in some sense, because if we can't figure that out, there's no way for us to really co-mingle and really thrive, as I've said before, as a community, if we can't figure out how to get between that gray area.
You're definitely right on that. It's really important to actually talk to people, get to know them, because every single person, regardless of gender, race, etc., is an individual. And each person has individual likes that maybe you're going to get along way better with someone who's completely the opposite from you. So I definitely agree with both of you on that. And then my last question would be for you, Jelani. Which one of the parts of your project, which person on your project may have impacted you the most?
That's a good question. I don't think any one person specifically stood out as impactful. I think everyone coming together to contribute to it was what really, affected me, and I hope that it has that same impact for others. Just being able to see us, in Black excellence,
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to a community of scholars, and I hope that you can see us a little bit differently now.